All right, y'all, let's get into the mushroom trip as it's going on so we can explain reality a little bit better as it's coming forth, because we got the Threes Company coming, and that 3D effect is coming into the world where you can start to see layer upon layer, and if you've had the eyes and ears and stuff, okay? Now, otherwise, the world and everybody's given over to the delusion, and it says that if it were possible, the elect would be given over to the delusion as well, okay? So, when you take mushrooms, we're on a mushroom trip now. When you take mushrooms and you step outside on your porch, you immediately feel the breeze and that wind in your hair. And it makes you cold, and it takes you a while to get adjusted. That YL is at 25, right? But it takes you a while to get adjusted. And even though you're outside, okay, outside everything is layered and you know what reality is, okay? It's just accentuated, and it takes a lot more grams to eat to make that daytime turn into that crazy altered state, okay? So, as if you take enough, you can change the daytime into that crazy state, all right? And that would be coming in the coming days. That would be in that 4D time. We're in that 3D time and building up to that 3D time for that Threes Company. And this is when the layers and stuff starts coming on the earth. So the light is what makes the trip normalized. When you go into the darkness, everything is altered. You start seeing people come in and out. You start seeing vibrations. You start seeing the world for not what it is, and you can't make sense of reality per se. And then also you might get stuck in a mirror, and in the bathroom, you get stuck in the bathroom. So there's just different things playing out. Either way, outside is a completely different experience, and it's to where you have to be experienced on the trip, because the house can lock you down, or the inside or the darkness or whatever can lock you down, even though that's where the trip is or whatever. Man, thought I was tripping hearing somebody. Anyways, they're there. So it's a trip within a trip. Crazy shit. Anyways, it's all messing with me. I'm like hearing her. She's like 30 feet away or whatever. Super eerie. That's why God's given it to us, because we can take these things and hunt and be part. That's where the Indians are telling you, like, you become one with the forest, because you start to move, you can hear everything and become one with it, okay? And instead of getting that trip or whatever, instead of getting the trip, the visual trip with the darkness, you're getting another trip with the light, and you're becoming one with the earth. You can hear just the slightest changes and things, all right? Either way, outside, it's normal and it's layered. You can make sense of reality. And inside is where the shit goes nuts, and that's where the trip is, and that's the T for Trump, and the rest in peace. And that rest in peace is that piece of pie. That pie is God, and that's the double T for the trumpet sounding, and the last trump coming for the Lord dawn, and that's the second coming. So all these things are happening before you, and you're about to get that 3D effect, that layered effect on the earth, where you might start jumping, start moving from the things going on in this earth. And then the 4D, so when you start getting sprayed, you start crying, maybe start shaking, earth shakes. So the Threes Company, the 3D time frame, it's not going to last very long. We can see with Suzanne Summers at 76 and 77. Trump 77, and then Israel 76. All these things are playing out, and that 3D effect is setting up. And that partial lunar eclipse for the 1028, which is tied to the 1/28/2020 of Israel peace deal signing, and that ring of fire being placed, and that marriage, and all these things, okay? So that's the lunar cycle, the luni cycle. That's the psilocybin effect coming into our society. And if you haven't taken psilocybin or partaken in the or broken the rules from the rulers of darkness, basically, that you're not going to know these things coming upon earth, okay? And when you step outside, it takes the body a while to get adjusted. I was freezing when I first came out here. Now I can actually feel the sun's warmth on me, and it's keeping me warm. And when you go from change environments or whatever, you're like shaking inside or whatever, and it takes a while for the serotonin to adjust. But also, even though I'm in the warmth, there's different episodes of being cold and shivering. Even though the world is even though I'm outside in the light, and I can make sense of everything, I still feel things internally. All right, and I still shake and shiver depending on things. And like I'm in the shade now. If I'm in the shade too long, my body gets adjusted to the darkness and the shade really faster than it does to the warmth. Okay, but either way, this is all for those eyes and ears for the people who have been developing them, and the body's being gathered as the veil's being lifted. Otherwise, the things kept from us as far as chemical structures, there's a natural setting, an unnatural setting, all these things. And the rulers of darkness, they come in. That's your government and such, your teachers, your DARE program, scaring the shit out of people. And I fell subject to that stuff. I was deathly afraid of drugs.